Hey, it's time to dish with D. That's me. Thank you for calling this video, making yourself a priority. I'm Denise. It is Wednesday, and Wednesday here is D's Wednesday Wisdom for Weight Loss. These are where you submit questions, concerns, ideas, and I deal with them. I answer them as best I can. Just to reiterate, I don't know everything. This is just my opinions. Being a Weight Watchers Lifetime member, I give my opinion. Again, you do not have to agree with everything that I say or anything that I say. But these are asked to me for me to respond. So I'm just giving you my experiences in relation to these questions. So without further ado, Slim and I, as he is in this frame as usual, will do our best to answer all your questions as best we can. There was two from YouTube from a video the other day, which really had, but I thought they would make great Wednesday Wisdom questions, so I didn't. That's why they're not answered yet, in case you're wondering. Let me grab my glasses so I actually can read them. I hate cooking. Do you have any suggestions to stay on track? That's a good one. And that's a huge one, because honestly, in order for you to get a lot more food, you almost have to cook. But there's a difference between cooking like Julia Child and just preparing. Like, I'm all about keeping it simple in the kitchen. You see my recipes, I don't want to spend a lot of time in the kitchen because honestly, at my age, I'm done. Say that for the youngins, the young, nice, married, newly married ladies. Just they all, been there, done that. I try to do quick, easy preparations, and most times, like, boneless, skinless chicken breast cooks up quickly because there's no bone in it. Ground chicken, ground turkey, ground beef cook up quickly. So those are definitely things I utilize in my repertoire, are those three items, because they cook up quickly. I mean, I make a lot of stir fries. I haven't made any lately though, but I love making things in one pan. Like, I love getting a protein, a vegetable, and a carbohydrate. So those are things you have to remember. Protein, veg, carb in your, especially dinners. You don't have to do a carb. You can do double veg, but sometimes when you don't throw that good carb in there, you find yourself looking for a snack later. I don't look for a snack later. Like a good pasta, a good rice, a good potato, a quinoa. They take, you put them in the rice cookers, the Instant Pots, they cook up great. Now, if you have one of those little Dash mini rice cookers, your rice, I believe you can cook quinoa in there, will cook up with minimal effort. Roast potatoes. Chop them, throw them a little olive oil or Pam spray, roast them in the oven. Minimal effort. You don't have to peel them. I love getting the little baby ones. They're so delicious. And then you can throw some, like, towards the end, throw some like zucchini or broccoli and roast that as well. And just cook up some chicken. You can buy chicken for the week, cook it up, and just have it for the week and just cut it down. I know I just got at Sam's Club a fully cooked, I think it's 2.5 pound turkey. It's like a piece of turkey breast, and it's fully cooked. I took to slice it down and eat it. You can get that if you're alone. You can just eat that during the week. You can just chop it up, put it in with your vegetables. Done. Cook up chicken. Done. Throw a little bit of like egg roll in a bowl. That requires a bag of coleslaw mix and some ground turkey, or you could use shrimp. Again, cabbage cooks up very quickly on the stove. You're not going to be in there really long, but you will get so much more food and feel so much more satiated, and it's easy. Pasta dishes. Throw everything over a bowl of pasta. Again, I should say 2 ounces of pasta. Cook up your pasta for the week. Put it in 2-ounce containers, and that's my pasta. Take it out, heat it up, throw some veggies and some protein on it. You can do shrimp. You can do, like I said, chicken, turkey. I'm all about the pork. Pork's the other white meat. I love a good pork tenderloin. It's very lean. And that's what I'd be my go-to. Breakfast, my breakfast repertoire, very easy. I like using little appliances. Again, makes my life easier. Here's this hint. If it's easy, you're going to do it. If it's complicated, you're not. You're just not, because you're past that. Most of my people who watch me are over 50. I mean, there's some that are not, but I'm saying the majority, and nobody wants to be in the kitchen. We don't. So that is why my recipes are very simplified, very easy, very quick. I do a lot of things on flatbread. Great way to get a pizza in. Quick and easy. So that's my idea. But absolutely, in order for you to get the benefits of the 0 point foods and the vegetables, you gotta cook them. You have to put out some effort to reap the rewards. It's not going to be like you can sit there and buy lean cuisines and all those smart ones. You're going to pay a lot of points and not get a lot of food, and you're going to be hungry and you're going to be swollen because they're all full of salt. You can eat them once in a while and it won't hurt you, but having those kinds of foods every day is where the sodium comes from. Like I was on a cruise, you remember, for 8 days. Now, one day's eating out's not going to make you retain water. But 8 days? 3 meals a day? Yeah. So that's why we try to say, control your salt, control your ingredients. You can make them more food for less points. This might be a Wednesday wisdom. Can you please share about candies, chocolates, and others? I think she was referring to the fact that I mentioned chocolate, because I love chocolate. I do. I like getting individually wrapped chocolates because I know some people it's a kryptonite. For me it is as well, but I've gotten better control when I allow myself to have it. It's when I don't have it that I go a little bit crazy. So what I do is, could be Hershey Kisses, could be little Ghirardelli squares. I tend to go for dark chocolate. I prefer it, and it's actually lower in sugar than like milk chocolate. But that's great for me because I like it better anyway. Like the white chocolates and the milk chocolates, maybe a point, depending on the brand, could be a little bit higher. So I tend to go for the dark chocolates anyway. I do. And this is controversial, and but you have to do whatever you feel comfortable doing. I do love the Chuck's Zero chocolates. They're made with monk fruit. I know some people are definitely afraid of monk fruit based on what happened. And I don't want to dwell too much on that, but that study was not really a true picture of what monk fruit does and how much monk fruit that we're actually eating versus what they said in that study, because we're certainly not near what those people were injected with. But if you don't feel comfortable eating it, then don't eat it. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem having a square of chocolate. Do I have the square of chocolate every day? I do not. I do have, I've showed them in hauls. Like I have the little 2-pack of the chocolate covered almonds. I do have the little peanut butter cups. I think they were 2 points. The little squares are 2 points. So they're all individually wrapped. That helps me because I tend not to want to open too many. If it was a bag of loose ones, yeah, I'll just grab a handful. It's a mental thing with me. It definitely helps seeing them individually wrapped. So maybe even you can get, if you go to the regular grocery store, they do have the no sugar added candies. I know they have the thins from, like Reese has the Reese thins. They have the York peppermint patty thins, I believe. So they're a better option too. Lily's has chocolate bars as well. You definitely could check out your local store and see what you want to, spend your points on. I don't ever suggest saying don't have it and save it for special occasions. To me, that's a diet mentality I can't get behind. Special occasions, life's short, and special occasions are every day for me. So I say if you can't fit it in twice a week, and I love dark cocoa powder. You could add like the special dark you get at your regular grocery store to vanilla items, and it'll give it a chocolate. You need to add a little bit of sweetener though. I will tell you, because it's unsweetened cocoa powder, you need to balance that with a sweetener of your choice. You boo, whatever sweetener you choose to use. I am all about, doesn't bother me. So when I make a chocolate item, if you've noticed, I tend to use I like the black cocoa powder as well. And I get that at an Amish bulk store. You can get it on Amazon. It's listed on my Amazon store. It's a little bit pricier on Amazon. I won't, but if you live next, if you can get to an Amish bulk store, I would check one out. Definitely more affordable. That chocolate to me is just like, it doesn't have that bitterness that this special dark has. Though that didn't bother me, but this one's just way better. So I'm adding that to vanilla things or yogurts. And for a great chocolate fix, my brownie batter hummus, it's chickpeas and cocoa powder and sugar-free pudding mix. All good. And that sucker gets many raves from very many non-WW people. So definitely I have a little bowl of my little wrapped chocolates on my buffet upstairs. And it's been sitting there. I had them, it was for Valentine's Day. So here we are almost 2 months later and it's still there. So it's not like I went through the whole entire basket. So yeah, you have to learn controlled discipline. And I feel you get that when you allow yourself to have it. When you sit there and hold on to, I'm not going to have any of this, I'm not going to do it. that's a diet mentality, because in life you have stuff. In life you have treats. You do. So don't ever fear that. I think a lot of times we fear the treat. Oh my gosh, but when you fit it in regularly, you don't have that pull towards it because you've controlled it. You have to take control of it. And it's definitely something that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. But when you keep practicing that controlled discipline, you'll see it'll get a little bit easier. All right, I'm doing a sugar detox. Funny, right after the chocolate thing, isn't it? Did you cut it completely or allow small numbers of grams per day? I just went right over to monk fruit when I decided I didn't want to include sugar, and not for any dietary. I just wanted to save points, and I like monk fruit. I don't have a problem with it. So I honestly, I did feel that you do go through a detox. It does take a few weeks for that. And I will tell you, you don't desire, and maybe that's why I can better with the candy, because I don't have that sugar in my system. That sugar, there's a pull towards it. And I don't know if it's in the mechanism or what's made of, but you definitely, when you are on a sugar like substitute per se, some of them, especially the monk fruit, doesn't have that. So it doesn't give you that, where you just crave it, which is good. I think that's the big thing that's helped me. But yeah, I cut it right completely. I went cold turkey. But I mean, cold turkey in a sense, like, it's not like I wasn't having any. I just substituted for monk fruit. So for me, I felt like I was having it, and it did take a few weeks to stop those cravings. I began tracking macros this week, double tracking with WW, and I'm having difficulty getting enough protein. Any ideas on how to increase my protein other than cottage cheese, protein bars, and protein shakes? Oh, they're the three big ones I was going to mention. I would love to know what your protein goal is. I will tell you, if your protein goal is extremely high, you're going to have a difficult time without having protein shakes and protein balls. Balls. You will. If you have a high protein goal of over, like, say 100, 130, it's going to be difficult to eat that much in food. So I don't know what your protein goal is, but I would say things that are high in protein, of course, are eggs. You mentioned yogurt is huge. One just went out of my head. Tuna. A can of tuna has close to 25 grams or maybe 20 grams of protein for the can. That's a lot. That is like a quarter of my day right there, because my protein goal is around 100. And I will tell you that I know people have lofty protein goals, and that's great. I do. I think it's a great thing, because there's nothing wrong with protein. Protein's a good thing. It's But I always say, when your goal is so high, you're going to have to get the shakes and the bars in to get the 20. I mean, you can get 20 to 30 grams of protein in one shake. That's huge. And it's easy. So I need to know, I would love to know what your number is. And remember this. I say this all the time. Is this a maintainable number for you? Because if you're going to be having to have supplements to get that goal, is that really? And my question is, what happens when you lower your protein goal? So I don't know if we know anybody yet that has had like a lofty protein goal and then all of a sudden cut it in half. And what happened? Is it kind of like keto? Because if you go off keto, you gain the weight back like that. I don't know about protein. I can't say, but I wonder if that has the same kind of effect. I don't know. But I'm all about maintenance. Like, I don't think about losing weight. I think about maintaining my weight, because that's the key. Losing it, we all could lose it. Let's face it, we all could lose it. How do we keep it off? That is the golden ticket. It's because we all could lose it. We've all proven we could lose it. I mean, I've lost 50 pounds several hundred times. Yeah, no, I shouldn't say that. I lost 50 pounds probably like 6 times. So I could lose it. It's about maintaining. That is where the real struggle begins. And I hate to say this to people who haven't, they're like, I just started my journey and this isn't the hardest part. It's not. I'm going to give you that key. It's not. Because you get those rewards at the end of your week of your loss, and you're just like, okay, I can do this. I saw a loss on the scale. Well, when you're on maintenance, you don't see the loss on the scale. Sometimes it goes like this. And that's not very encouraging to you. It's not. But so what I want to say is, keep it simple, keep it maintainable, because this is something you want to continue for the rest of your life. Are you going to be able to keep buying supplements like that to get those lofty protein goals? I don't know. But definitely your dairy has your proteins, meats, but how much can we eat to get enough protein for those lofty goals? So that's why I keep my protein goal at 100. I know I can do that religiously. I can't do anymore. I'm just not going to eat protein for the sake of eating protein. I want to eat what I want, because if you're not eating what you want, you're not feeling satiated, you're not feeling satisfied. Because I ate that because I had bright and protein. Did I want it? No, I didn't. But there's lots of like things out there. But yeah, your dairies, your cottage cheeses, I know. Now, you could try getting the whipped cottage cheese if you don't like the texture of regular cottage cheese. Oh my God, it's so good. Or you could just whip your own. You can, if you don't like those curds. Doesn't bother me, but sometimes it bothers people. So you definitely can try that. Okay, I have a few more questions over here. I have to find them. Went too far past. Okay. Well, my new iPad. When you expect too much, when to say yes or no. You got to start listening to "Are you hungry?" which is hard for us because we've never had to listen to that before. We've always listened to "Am I full?" So we have to start asking ourselves, am I hungry? And if the answer is no, that's when you stop eating. Now, that is hard. I'm not going to sit there and tell you it's easy. It's difficult because you still want it. So, but if you keep the controlled discipline, you keep practicing it, it does get easier because it's a whole new mindset. You have to remember, you've lived your whole life thinking this way. This is a whole new way of thinking. So don't expect it to happen overnight. It's definitely practice, practice, practice. How not to sabotage yourself by buying treats for someone else. I think if you earmark the treats for them and not for you, like I try to have ownership of things. When it's something I want, I'll say this is mine, make sure, or I don't want this. I'll tell the people in the house, my boys, I'll say, see this? I can't eat this. Make sure. And me saying that to them almost makes me more accountable because I've said it out loud. So I know people know. So I'm less likely to take it because they'll be like, oh, I thought you didn't want that. And I'd be like, oh. So I make myself accountable in my own home with my family. You have to sit them down and say, you know what? I have a problem with food. They might not realize it because it's something that nobody talks about, food addiction, and nobody talks about it. So people don't even know it exists. And they're like, well, you just, you don't eat that much. You say, no, apparently I eat a lot. If I had 100 pounds to lose, that's a lot of food. So I definitely was overeating. But you have to, when you get something for somebody, it is earmarked for them. That's not for you. And you make sure you put it aside. Put it out of sight. I say this a lot of times too. If you look at it, you're going to want it. But if it's not visible in your peripheral, in your area, make your, like if you're in the kitchen person, make your kitchen a safe spot. Like I said, on my buffet, I have my basket of my chocolates. I don't have Steve's chocolates. I don't have the boys' chocolates. They're in the dining room, which I don't rarely go in. I don't have to see them. If I don't see them, I don't want them. So that really, really helps. And seeing your food out there, seeing my chips, all my rice cakes, my nut butters, my powdered peanut butters, you see them in my videos, they're all out for me to see. So that is, that helps me. How to accept your body and shape and not compare. I think we have this expectation of what we're supposed to look like or what we're supposed to weigh based on society. And society gets it wrong sometimes. And we have to realize that they're always going to go to the extreme. Are you healthier? Yes. Are you a good size? Yes. Are you a model? No. Do you need to be? No. Do models eat? They don't. So you have to remember that you're healthy at your size, and you can't worry about what somebody else's size or what they're going through and what they expect of themselves. You may have a friend that doesn't eat enough, and that they're underweight. Do you want to compete with them to be like them? No. Keep that mindset that I'm healthy. I might not be a acceptable size in society, but I am healthy. It's society that has it wrong. That BMI thing is totally archaic, and we've all said it. You have to realize that, Size 8s and size 10s are the new norm. And at our age, why would we want to be a size 6 or 4? Like, why? What are we trying to prove to society? That we can do it? That we're acceptable? No matter what, they're going to find a reason not to accept us. So you have to accept yourself. Self-love is a hard one. We don't like ourselves. We don't even love ourselves. And that's, we have to like who we are and like our bodies, because we've hated our bodies for so long. It's hard to all of a sudden start loving it. It's like, I've hated you for so long. I've been embarrassed by you for so long, but yet we never did anything about it. Guilty. Yep, I hated the way I looked, but did I ever do anything about it? Because food was my friend. You have to find a new set of friends, because food can't be your friend. It can't be. How not to sabotage. Oh, I read that one. Failure one week is not the end. It's the beginning for success the next week. Absolutely. Just because you have a gain doesn't mean your week was bad. Or even if you ate your face off, you know what? We're in a lifestyle. We're not in a diet. And yes, sometimes we eat. Don't make yourself feel guilty about it. That's a diet mentality. If you can't handle eating a little bit extra, and maybe like me going on that trip, I said to myself, you might gain weight, Denise. And you know what? I said, Denise, it's okay, because people gain weight on vacation. It's totally normal. Why am I the one that has to lose weight on vacation? What am I trying to prove to anybody? That I could go on a cruise and lose weight? Woohoo, me, big whoop. That proves nothing to no one. That just shows that you can't go out and have a good time and accept that the meals that are there. I went on my cruise. I had a great time. Did I gain weight? I sure did. Did I lose that weight? I sure did. Because those kinds of pounds don't stick. So you have to, and I'm so glad I didn't have that diet mentality going on there going, no, I will just have a salad, please. I would have been miserable. I would have. And you know what? I was active. We were busy. We were, doing this. It's vacation. You can let loose on vacation. It's okay. It's okay. Let's see the next one. I need to stop thinking in a diet mind. Rewards, punish, and cravings and binges. I think because we've been on diets our whole lives, it's hard to not think that way. But you want to have a healthy mindset. And like I said, what I just said about the vacations, that we go away. I just strive to be normal. Normal people gain weight over the holidays. Normal people gain weight over vacations. Why do I need to sit there and lose weight? Which I remember back in the day, I would never eat over a holiday. I'm like, oh, I can't. And then the holiday would go by and I wouldn't have had a good time. Yes, it revolves around food. Holidays, vacations, they do. You could sit there and tell yourself they don't, you're blue in the face, but they do. And saying that sets yourself up for failure and diet mentality. When you accept the fact that things revolve around food, they do. You can go in there better equipped. When you sit there and say, oh, it's not about the food, it's about the company. No, it's not. It's about the food and the company. Food is right up there with the company because it's all about the food. And that's how it's always been, and that's how it's always going to be. You can tell yourself, oh no, we're just going to have great conversations. You have those great conversations over food. Everybody's got a plate of food. You have to figure out how to maneuver that food and how to go in there with a game plan and going in there knowing that. When you go in there, you're armed for battle. When you go in there thinking like that, that's when bad things happen. That's when you just throw food on your plate because you don't care, because you didn't prepare yourself for the fact that there's going to be your favorite foods there, and a lot of them. So I definitely say you just have to keep practicing the controlled discipline, knowing that it's normal to do this, and don't punish yourself because you ate something. It happens. The punishment is not getting back in the game right away. You can't sit there and punishing yourself is when you just sit there like, I already blew it for this week. What's the difference? No, you only blew it for the day. You didn't blow it for the week. Not that you're going to come out with a week with a loss, because you just want to get back on track. It's not about what the scale says. It's about your decision making and how you choose to do the rest of your week. That scale has nothing to do with your week. It's about how you approach it and how you've defined that week and how you've picked up and run with it and did better. It doesn't matter what that scale says. You know that you had one bad day and 4 good days after that. That's a win. It doesn't matter what that scale says. You know that you changed it up and you did it. And we have to get rid of that, whatever that scale says is defining my week. That's our problem. We let the scale control us. It's hard. It's hard because we have no other way of gauging how well we did. But if you go over, I always say, what would old Denise do? Well, she would do this, and that. Well, she didn't do that. So that's strides for me. Yeah, the scale might not reflect it, but I know that I made better decisions. And that's what keeps me going. People say, how do you keep doing this for so long? I mean, I've been consistent since 2018, February 2018, when I went back for freestyle. Here we are, 2023. 19, 20, 21, 22, 5 years. How have you been consistent on your plan for 5 years? I didn't realize it was 5 years once I said it. By living lifestyle, by not punishing myself, by knowing that it's normal to eat. And it's normal sometimes to have a binge, because sometimes we just do. Sometimes we eat out of stress. As long as we don't do it regularly, we're all right. I mean, I think every once in a while, stress eat is nothing wrong with that. But we can't stress eat over every situation. Like, oh, the dog got lost, I got to eat. Oh, the mail's late, I got to eat. Like, don't you look for an excuse to have a binge. Like, sometimes there's really something really bad happened that you just need that comfort. Try to have a comfort meal, not a comfort day, is what I would suggest. How to handle a spouse, significant other who tries to sabotage you by wanting you to cook things they know are bad. I mean, if that's what they want, I'd cook it. Just because I cook it doesn't mean I have to eat it. And honestly, some things that are, that I choose not to eat anymore, don't bother me, because I know I don't want it. If I'm in a good mindset when I'm making that meal, then I'm good. Now, if I'm having a bad day or something really bad happens and I made that meal, it might not work out that way. Or here's the bottom line, like I say with everything else. You could have that bad meal. You don't have to have a whole serving of that bad meal. Like, people won't eat like fried chicken, mac and cheese. I'm like, you could have mac and cheese. You don't have to have mac and cheese. You could have a serving of mac and cheese. You could have that bad meal that really isn't the best for you. You could have a smaller portion of that meal. So yeah, if somebody wants it, I cook what, if it's their birthday or something, they ask me to cook something that I probably wouldn't want to eat, I've cooked it for them. I don't ever feel like, oh my God, because I'm cooking something, I'm going to have to, scarf it all down. I know with all the tools that I've been given that I could have everything is on the menu. Even bad food that we consider bad food is on the menu, just not a lot of it. So I would say definitely have some. You can't have a lot. Like, fill your plate with vegetables and then have your macaroni and cheese and your fried chicken. Take the breading off your chicken and eat the chicken. It's not tragic. We're not always going to be able to have the best choices. Sometimes we're just going to have to make the best of bad choices. And we can do that. And I've done it at many parties where I've gone and there wasn't always the best choices. Hopefully, I used to say to my husband, we used to go the night to Columbus, they never have a green salad here. Because I could build I could build a great meal around a green salad. I could put that pulled pork on there and not feel bad about it. I could put that roast beef on there and not feel bad about it. But when I don't have salad to my vehicle, I always start a bad meal with a big salad. Because then you can put all those bad things on top and it's not that bad. And it's a little bit filling. And sometimes I throw a roll in there because honestly, rolls a little lower in fat. Yes, they have carbs, but it's a better option than some things. And it's filling. That's my secret. If I'm out, I should always get a roll. Remember how far you've come when the scale is creeping up. Yep. I always say, remember how far you've come, not how far you have to go. Sometimes we still want to look at the end of the line, like, oh, there's my Batwing. I still have 50 pounds to lose, but you've lost 75. Don't forget the small things, like where you came from. It's huge. And guess what? If somebody offers you something, you can politely say no, thank you. Just because somebody offers you something doesn't mean you have to take it. How many times I've taken stuff, put it on my plate, and never ate it? Because there's food pushers out there. Oh yeah, there's food pushers, and they love to push the food on the Weight Watcher people. If they know you've been trying to lose weight, because they feel powerful. It's like the mean girls. Oh, there's mean food pushers. Yep. I take it, and I just don't eat it. And when they're not looking, I heave it. I may even take a bite of it and heave it. Inspiration when you're just tired. Tired of spending weekends meal prepping, tired of tracking, tired of being mindful all the time. Sometimes you're just tired. People are tired of tracking all the time. So I always say, take some days off of tracking. I took a week off in the cruise. I didn't track all week, but I was mindful of what I was eating. I knew that I could have beautiful fish. I knew I could have vegetables, and I knew I could have a decent carb. If there was potatoes, if there was rice, I got it. It just, I always had a salad with my lunch because salad is good for you. It's filling to a point. So yeah, and always have like a healthy protein like shrimp, chicken is always available. Even a good lean steak. Like be mindful. Eat mindfully. And we can do it. Like, yeah, I'm not going to take a week off from tracking and go eat the ice cream and then go make just grab Steve's candy because I'm eating mindful. I'm only going to have one of his Ghirardellis. No, you know what to do because you've done it religiously. But yeah, take a week off from tracking. There's no reason that you have to track religiously if you're just tired of it. Because sometimes being away from it, you might have a renewed interest in it. And meal prepping is a big one because meal prepping is difficult. Meal prepping is work. I don't meal prep. I prep ingredients is what I do. I prep eggs. I prep chicken. I prep dips because they're easy. But I'm not prepping meals. I'm not prepping breakfast all the week. First of all, I don't want the same thing for breakfast every day. I don't prep lunch. I don't want the same thing for lunch every day. I mostly for lunch are kind of scarf leftovers that are around the house, and I kind of build it on a flatbread. That's a fun thing to do. Find a fun vehicle like a flatbread and see the different things you can make with it. Things you have around the house. Low-fat cheese, turkey pepperoni, those Youve sauces, chicken breast, chopped vegetables. I mean, I had carrots, I had bell pepper, onion, spinach, and just put them on there. And all of a sudden, like, you got this fun little thing that you've created. Like, well, this is really good. I gave Peter an idea last night. He wanted, I used the last light bread. He was going to have it with peanut butter. He goes, oh, you ate the light? Yeah. He goes, oh, I'm going to have my nut butter on. I said, I have those La Banderita carb counter wraps. They're fresh. They're right from Sam's. They're so light and fluffy. I said, spread your nut butter on that, roll it up, and cut it into pinwheels. So he did that, and he goes, I put grapes on it. He goes, it was really good. Again, changing something so simple as just your vehicle. I mean, I love putting things on those Wassa crackers. You get 2 for 1 point. I think this is the whole grain of the sourdough. I think it's the sourdough. And they're nice sized crackers. I put nut butter on there. I put nut butters on rice cakes. I do rice cakes. I do the savory rice cakes with the tomato and basil with some cottage cheese or just some vegetables. Had it with the side of my, my stir fry the other night. I needed definitely just be mindful and take advantage of low point things like powdered peanut butters, fruits, hummuses, and enjoy your food. You do get tired of all that. I have to say you have to stay mindful because if you give up mindfulness, that's not good. So that's the one thing you have to keep. I'll have you ditch prepping. I'll have you ditch tracking. I will not have you ditch mindfulness, but just being mindful, you know what to do because you've done it for so long. It's probably the weather, I agree. Too much snow will make you feel that way. And when you have snow, all you want is comfort food. So maybe make a pot of soup. I love soup. How avoid boredom? Trying new foods is definitely a way to avoid. For me, it's flatbreads. It's doing things in the mini dash rice cooker. Like, I found something that's taken up residence in my shelf, and what could I do with it? And I got the book that came with it, and all the recipes came from that book. Like, scan the recipe sites and for ease, and always put the word easy in your search title because they'll bring up the easy ones. I try to put, when my recipes are easy, I try to put easy in the title because that's what people search for, because nobody wants hard. We want easy. I made these teriyaki meatballs the other day. I left over ground turkey from my chili, so and what I have on hand, I put it on Instagram if you're interested in seeing it. I put some soy sauce and some ginger and some sesame oil and some sesame seeds. I put a couple other things, and I rolled them in little balls, and I baked them in the oven. They were good. Again, just something that I was craving. I had the ground chicken, so Again, you just change it up. Change up ingredients that you use in something like meatloaf. I mean, like, I've made a Big Mac meatloaf. I've made taco meatloaf. I've made chicken, cordon bleu meatloaf. I've made chicken, Florentine with spinach and cheese. And it's just something simple as adding spinach to something that changes it up and serving things on flatbread. I put my leftover Chinese food on a flatbread, and man, was that good. Something simple. So definitely take little tweaks from people like me, and when I do things like and really listen to what I say, because it's definitely trying to give you ideas, because I get bored of eating. I truly do. Soup is a meal. Yep. It is. Somebody said, "Is this a true head game?" And it is. You can psych yourself up and down for about everything. So realize that. So it is. It is when you realize that you're not hungry here, you're hungry here. And how do we satisfy? This is harder to satisfy than our tummies. You have to feel what do you truly want to eat? What do you truly crave? And that's how you build your meal. That for me, like this morning, I wanted a breakfast pizza. How did I make that happen? I scrambled up some eggs, put some smoked salmon on there, a little bit of cheese, and it was fantastic. And when you love what you crave, when you eat what you crave, you enjoy your food so much better. And you don't go looking for that next. You're satisfied. Satisfaction is very rewarding. But you need to be satisfied within your points. I mean, would I love to have a hot fudge sundae with wet walnuts? Sure I would. Why would I say that? I don't really like ice cream, but that was the first thing that came to my mind. But would I love to have a piece of vanilla cake with chocolate frosting? Sure I would. So I make a whoopie pie. Honestly, it hits that note. I have chocolate filling. Did I ever do the chocolate one? I don't know if I ever did. Did a chocolate chip one. All right, go back. Let's rewind. Cannoli. Oh, when you want a cannoli, you want a cannoli. But when I make cannoli stuffed French toast, is that good? Yes, ma'am. When I make my cannoli bread pudding, oh my gosh. When I make my cannoli whoopie pie, does it taste like cannoli? It sure does. Why? Because it has the cheese and the chips, and that's what a cannoli tastes like. And you have that nice, delicious, moist cake. You have to hit the notes, and that's what you're looking for. And that's what a lot of my recipes do. It hits the notes. It gives you that creaminess, that cakeness, that whippedness that your palate desires. Like your brain wants it, your belly doesn't. So if your brain gets in that tongue and that gives you all those sensations, it's a hit out of the park for me. And the cookies, the big cookies. I made a peanut butter cookie the other day. It was fantastic. I wanted a chewy oatmeal cookie. It's exactly what I got, and it was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. It hit all my oatmeal cookie notes, and you're looking to hit those mental notes is what they are, because your sensations come on your tongue. All our taste buds are on our tongue. So when you hit all those things, it's like fireworks go off in your brain. It's not your belly, it's your brain. And when you realize this is where the work needs to be, not here, lifestyle. That's why it's lifestyle, because you have to satiate your brain. All of my years, and that's what I've learned, and I'm giving it to you, so you don't even have, you'd be like, oh my God, she makes so much sense. I love sharing things. That was my aha moment, I think, when I realized it finally clicked. Like, how did it click? People get you all the time. How did it click? How did you get there? And when I realized that's where my problem was, not here, then onward to WW goal, and I can't even believe I'm slightly above it, but I'm here. I'm a lifetime member. I can't say that I have the card. It doesn't fathom how it could be, but it is. And you can be there too. Does it take work? Yes. Hitting the notes. You have to start, thinking in your head instead of in your tummy. And that's a huge thing. And it hopefully will click for you too. Well, that is it for me today. Thank you for all your fantastic questions. You always challenge me. You always give me reasons to film. So I so appreciate that. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, join us here at Dish with D. We are a healthy lifestyle weight loss channel that can Be your new WW workshop. I am currently on the Weight Watchers points plan, and I am also tracking on the healthy app Better Balance to get my points and my calories and macros. So if that is something you're interested in, join us here. So hit that subscribe button, be part of our family. Thanks for watching. I will dish with you another day.